So I wrote an essay about this today, but I didn't really go into it in the essay because I wasn't thinking about it until I wrote the essay. But hi, I'm Shaggy. I'm Phil Alitea. I'm a thinker and a different kind of religious person, at least in what you're used to. And I've been recently reading a lot of theology. Thomas Aquinas and Martin Luther, Manly P. Hall, Joseph Campbell. You don't have to think of comparative mythology as theology, but Thomas Aquinas would have. I've been really stunned. I've been struck because I'm reading these books with my natural modern bias, and I keep waiting on them to tell me something actionable. Tell me something actionable. Tell me something practical that I can take away and that I can act on. Because that's what everybody who comments on my stuff, especially my writing, especially my theology and my philosophy, is okay, well, what's the takeaway? What's the actionability? And these people were raised in church. That's where they got the idea that when you sit down to do something intellectual, there should be an actionable takeaway from it. And so there's this historical bias that that's what was going on in synagogue and temple all over the religious world forever. It's not what's going on with Thomas Aquinas and Martin Luther. I'm reading Martin Luther's anxiety about theology, and I'm just like, okay, well, what can I do with any of this? And so something that is true by the 1550s is that Christianity, especially the practicing Christians, had become remarkably ritual and ceremonial in its occult practices. They were reading the magical Greek papyri and necromantic literature because there's nothing actionable. There's just nothing you can do in theology. By 1550, philosophers in their good life, they're not teaching you how to live. Ceremonial and ritual magicians, shamans, they're not telling you how to live. They're not telling you how to make decisions in your own life. Their conceptions of free will and determinism, of a god of the universe and a god of mind and us, they lacked all of the modern New Age stuff because it required the modern New Age stuff in order to invent all of that. Because there was a time before the 20th century and atheism. You didn't used to have to proselytize Christianity, so you didn't have to teach people how to be Christian. It was expected that you either were or you weren't. The decision-making apparatus that we have today, where people go to church or they go to university or they go to anywhere, any expert, and they expect that expert to tell them what to do with their lives, that didn't exist. It just didn't exist. It's not there. It's not there to be found. I'm telling you, I'm looking for it, and it's just not there to be found. They didn't have it. All of this angst that modern people want to put into the past just wasn't there. People, even as the plagues, they weren't anxious about it.